Let's discuss the Sun Si Miao ghost point. Do 16 Fengfu, Palace of Wind. Location on the posterior midline directly below the external occipital protuberance in the depression between the origins of the trapezius muscle. How to find the external occipital protuberance is a hump-shaped projection on the posterior surface of the occipital bone, on the midline and slightly superior to the craniocervical junction. Locate Do16 in a depression on the posterior midline that can be palpated directly inferior to the protuberance and between the two origins of the trapezius muscle. Generally, Do16 is located approximately 1 tune superior to the posterior hairline. GB20 is located on the same level below the occiput in a depression between the origins of the trapezius and sternocleidomastoid muscle. Needling 0.5 to 1 tune slightly obliquely in an inferior direction. Bend the patient's head slightly forward when needling. Caution, dangerous point with deep needling. No stimulation. Strictly no needling in a superior direction. Danger of puncturing the cerebellomedullary cistern. Also site for suboccipital puncture. The needle should be inserted into the nuchal ligament. According to some authors, moxibustion is contraindicated. Actions indications: dispel external wind, calms internal wind and the shen, nourishes the sea of Marrow, lightens the shen. Special features: meeting point with Jiang Weimai and according to some authors, the Yu Kiaomai, sea of Marrow point, window of heaven point, Sun Si Miao ghost point. Used for all disorders which are caused by external or internal wind and which are characterized by sudden onset, changing location and or intensity of the disorder, involuntary movements. It extinguishes interior wind in opisthotonus, aphasia from windstroke, hemiplegia. Expels external wind, aversion to cold, fever, body aches, occipital stiffness, and headache. It nourishes marrow and benefits the brain in headache, dizziness, tinnitus, blurred vision. It also calms the mind, opens the mind's orifices, manic behavior, desire to commit suicide, sadness, fear. Do16 eliminates both the exterior and interior wind. It can therefore be used for exterior attacks of wind cold or wind heat, as well as for patterns of interior wind, such as in wind stroke, epilepsy, or severe giddiness. Its capacity in eliminating wind in general makes it a very important point to relieve headaches from liver yang, rising, liver wind, liver fire, and acute headaches from exterior wind. Its action in treating headache is also partly due to its points being a point of the eye system which emerges from the brain at Do16. Do16 is a point of the sea of Marrow. Marrow fills up the brain, and this point can either clear the mind and stimulate the brain. The governing vessel enters the brain at Do16, which is also said to mark its lower border, while another branch of the vessel passes through the heart. Do16 is therefore indicated for various mental disorders such as mania, incessant talking with inability to rest, mad walking, and desire to commit suicide, as well as sadness and fear with fright palpitations. It was included under this alternative name, Ghost Pillow by Sun Si Miao in his 13 Ghost Points for the treatment of mania disorder and epilepsy. Window of the sky point of the Sea of Marrow, Ghost Point, crossing point of Dumai, and Jiang Wei Mai linking vessel. This point is effective in treating the patient at the spirit level, can clear the head and bring perspective to their life and aid the integration of body, mind, spirit. Helps the patient to hear and see with enhanced clarity. As a Sea of Marrow point in combination with Do15, 19, 20, Do16 can nourish the brain and the senses. This is a window of sky point. It is suggested that the practitioner consider treating window points on the CF first before using this point to gauge its response. Fengfu is one of the ghost points. Its location on the predominantly young domai at this place of entry to the brain with its stimulating effect on the mind and spirit makes it a great point to restore someone to full consciousness and strength.